The mission of our lab is to study elite athletic performance, as well as how to work your way to elite performance, or for those and most people who aren't elite, how do you reach your potential? And so we use sports as a medium, but it applies to a lot of areas in life, whether it's at the job site, recreationally, and many facets of it apply just to general health and fitness. We have focused a lot on basketball, partly because we're here at the University of Kansas and we have a long history of that in that sport, and we have a long track record of working with basketball. But also our funding agency has a vested interest in that sport. And so we have spent a lot of time and effort looking at, on one hand, some very simple questions, but one that in the coaching world is still relevant. For example, what makes one person a better basketball shooter, whether it's free throws, 2 points, 3 points, versus someone who's not as efficient. And it's interesting because many of the coaching cues have come out to be, they're spot on. And then there's some others that you hear about a lot that it's like, okay, we don't see that, and so hopefully it helps the coaches. We also look at some other sports. Here at our university, we have a really good relationship with the rowing team, and we also have colleagues at other institutions that focus on that. So we spend a lot of time and effort on understanding what goes into rowing performance and the training required for that. We also work a lot with the psychophysiology, what's going on the mind-body connection, and that's a wide open area that's often misunderstood. We also have a focus on understanding resistance exercise, both the programming and that's required, but also what are the actual forces for all the variations of resistance exercise. And so that's a project we call Motionomics, and that applies to a lot of different areas.
My goal is to improve the understanding of athletic performance through a systematic and formalized approach. So step one is typically to assess the health and well-being of the athlete. Then step two is to assess body composition, so lean body mass, muscle mass, body fat. And step three, we want to assess movement capacity and movement competency. So that's what we were teaching today through our Dari motion capture system, is understanding how individuals move and the differences and the asymmetries and the symmetries and how force is produced. It's just being a former athlete and actively coaching athletes. There are things that we see in practice or that we experience, and it's like, I feel like there's a relationship between how much muscle mass I have at certain times of the year and how well I perform. So that is, for specific sports, that has been one of the more interesting things, is to see some of the basic low-hanging fruit, like optimal body composition, like health and well-being, and how that relates to how well athletes move, and how well athletes move relates to the amount of force they can produce, the amount of power they can produce, and how well they perform in their sport.
So I kind of manage a lot of logistics or operations of the lab. I oversee a lot of our projects and kind of just make sure they're running smoothly, make sure they have everything they need, as well as oversee a lot of like the logistics in the budget, and just making sure we're on track and meeting deadlines for those kind of things. I'm also the liaison between the Tsai Alliance as a whole, and then also our just campus and university. And there's a lot of, if you work for a large campus, there's a lot of pieces to that. And so kind of just making sure we're all talking and seamlessly kind of working together is a big part of what I do. Because I have the background under Dr. Mary Fry in sports psychology, I hope to merge that or kind of bridge that gap even more. I know we have a few projects going and there's some things in the works, so I'm really excited about things that we have cooking.
Well, this is an unbelievable opportunity for us. So yes, we're a member of the Tsai Human Performance Alliance, and this is the brainchild of Clara Wu and Joseph Tsai, who are very invested in sports as well as in the arts and in social justice. They have a large foundation that now funds the study of elite performance. So we're one of 6 institutions that are a member of this Human Performance Alliance. And it includes Stanford University, University of Oregon, University of California, San Diego, the Salk Institute, which is a research center in San Diego, Boston Children's Hospital at Harvard Medical Center, and then us here at the University of Kansas. This is really huge for the emerging field of sports science, which is just growing by leaps and bounds. So being able to be part of this movement and kind of at the cutting edge is really exciting. And we have, I guess I'll repeat again, we have a lot of fun here.